I'm Jennifer Schnieders, and I live in Jefferson City, Missouri. I have 2 clinics, Outbound Physical Therapy and Rehab. I actually started my practice in 2012 as an entirely mobile practice. And I came to my first private practice section meeting in 2013 because I had no idea what I was doing. And I thought, what better way to figure it out than to surround yourself with people who have been doing this and can give me some guidance. And I went to one of Brian's talks and walked up to him afterwards and said, I need you to tell me how I make this pertinent to my particular practice model. So I continued on with that for a couple of years and kept growing and added staff and kept getting busier and busier, but it wasn't really becoming more financially sustainable. And I knew that, and Brian knew that, and he kept telling me that I need to figure out my next steps. And so I decided to let him help me and encourage me to open a physical location. So that was in 2015. So after 6 years of that, I opened a second location last year in November of 2021. And so the second location has been open for a year exactly. And so then about a year into having my first physical location, I knew it was time to stop doing billing myself because I knew that was another thing that I just didn't need to be doing because that's not what a physical therapist should be doing. So to have MEG start doing my billing required a change in EMR. And so that was part of the process, but it was nice because it was an EMR that my billing team was familiar with. And so not only did I have the EMR training and guidance, but I had my billing team also helping me with the ins and outs of the documentation system because they were familiar with it. They'd been using it as well. So I had 2 separate resources, which was really nice. I also did not, prior to that EMR, have a good source of reports and a good mechanism of looking at numbers and looking at all of the reports that are necessary. I kind of knew what I needed to know, but I didn't know how to get that information. And so by using MEG for my billing and having a new EMR, I all of a sudden had all kinds of data that I really needed and never had. I went from having a billing person who I contracted who didn't, not to her fault, but she did the job, but there wasn't communication about what we were getting and what my AR looked like and how much money we weren't getting and what we were writing off, and I just didn't have that information, and I didn't know that I needed to be looking at it either. So it was enlightening to see how much more revenue was actually coming back to my business once it was being done the correct way. And it was so much less stressful for me because I knew it was being done correctly and I didn't have to be the one doing it. I've been lucky that from the day I opened my physical location, it just kept growing. I really do attribute the information and the training to be a business owner and a CEO that I got from Brian and from MEG to the growth that we experienced because we were doing things the right way, the way they needed to be done. I was looking at the right numbers. I was bringing in the right people to be on my team. I learned how to hire the right people, how to find the right people, and how to keep the right people. And so I never really had to worry about, are we going to plateau? Are we going to stop growing? We just kept growing and growing and growing and bringing on more staff and seeing more visits per week and more visits per month and ultimately outgrew our existing space. And that was right before COVID. I worried, okay, is that it? Are we where we're going to get? We weren't, because as soon as patients were able to start coming back, the growth kept going and we were able to open a second location. And I really do attribute all of the knowledge that I've gained, and it wasn't just the one-time training. It's being able to consistently go to Brian and his resources that he provides to keep learning. So there's a constant resource that I have at my fingertips, whether it's through the computer or I just pick up the phone and call somebody, that keeps me on top of what's happening so that I can continue to grow and my business thrives. When MEG Academy was first developed and became available for us to use, I knew it was something that I wanted to provide for my staff, not only for their development, but for my peace of mind, to know that they were being coached in the same way that I was, and that they were getting the same information that I built my business on, and that it was being conveyed and communicated in a consistent manner. It's just been it's given me peace of mind that everyone is getting the same message and that we're all building a team culture in a business that is founded on the same principles across the board. And I think it's good for staff to have multiple perspectives. So to have another voice and another face, I think is helpful too. Just to hear the same thing from multiple points of view is reinforcing. Knowing that I have these people that are always accessible to me. It's more like a mentorship, really, that I didn't get anywhere else. I have physical therapy mentors, but I've never had business mentors, and I feel like that's what I have. And now they're friends. I mean, it's been almost 10 years, and now they're friends that I look forward to seeing on the rare occasion that I get to see them. But I know that there is a genuine sense of compassion and care for me as a person, not just as a business owner. And I know without a doubt that all of these people with MEG want me to succeed. And it's not just because I paid them to. It's because that's who they are as people, and they want me to be the best that I can be, and that's what I'm doing.